If you've been following Mayor of Kingstown on Paramount Plus, you know it's been one hell of a ride. This crime thriller, co-created by Taylor Sheridan and Hugh Dillon, centers on Mike McLusky and his desperate attempts to keep order in the chaotic prison town of Kingstown. And let me tell you, Season 4 really turned up the heat. Season 4 finale recap. Mike's been tasked with maintaining this delicate system of checks and balances across multiple institutions and factions, but he often finds himself completely powerless. Season 4 brought all of his anxieties out into the open, with both old and new villains going after his loved ones. But by the end, Mike pulled off something brilliant. He orchestrated Frank Moses' arrest and Kyle's release in one fell swoop. And here's the best part. His arch-nemesis, Callahan, surrendered right into his arms, completely unaware that Kyle was out and hungry for revenge. Most of the narrative loose ends got wrapped up this season, but there's still a lot of story left to tell, especially when it comes to Mike's ongoing dissatisfaction with life. Season 5 release date. Now, Paramount Plus hasn't officially confirmed Season 5 yet, but in the best-case scenario, we're looking at a release somewhere between late 2026 and early 2027. So yeah, we've got a bit of a wait ahead of us. Season 5 plot, the Colombian cartel threat. So what can we expect from Season 5? Well, while most of Mike's enemies were wiped out by the end of Season 4, Bunny wasn't so lucky. After neutralizing the local Cartel faction and capturing their prized hitman Cortez, Bunny finally lowered his guard. Big mistake. Cortez made a narrow escape, possibly to alert the higher-ups in the cartel. The story has officially moved on from the Russian mafia, which means Mike now has to face the newest enemies in town. This was actually foreshadowed early in the series when Cortez claimed that the cartel has plans to take over not just Bunny, but Kingstown's mayor, Mike himself. And remember Jackson? His tragic death at the hands of the cartel is bound to add fuel to the fire, since Mike vowed to protect him and now likely wants revenge. Anchor Bay prison storylines. Nina Hobbs is still the warden of Anchor Bay, but there's this lingering plot thread about her daughter that could bridge her past and present in a potential sequel. The prison's internal gang warfare is also expected to finally reach its climax. Bunny, Raphael, and Roberto Cruz are all eager to draw blood once again, and this time it could be for good. Here's where it gets really interesting. Frank Moses is all set to become the newest inmate at Anchor Bay, spiritually succeeding Callahan as the most feared person behind bars. Even though his Detroit gang is largely out of the picture, he still has more than enough muscle and resources to continue the war. So Bunny's reign might face a two-pronged challenge soon, which means we could see his foremost ally, Mike, return to the battlefield once again. Season 5 cast who's returning. With each season of Mayor of Kingstown, Mike risks losing his loved ones to new and old foes, which means there's a constant flow of characters in and out of the narrative. Season 5 should be no different. Jeremy Renner is expected to reprise his role as the lead, Mike McLusky. Hugh Dillon, Toby Bamtefa, and Taylor Handley all have a high chance of returning as Ian Ferguson, Deveron, Bunny Washington, and Kyle McLusky, respectively. We might also see Laura Benanti and Edie Falco in more prominent roles as Cindy Stevens and Nina Hobbs, and Derek Rivera is likely to continue his role as the enigmatic cartel hitman, Cortez. Season 5 cast departures. Now for the departures. The biggest death in Season 4 happened at the very end. Merle Callahan met his end at the hands of Kyle, which means actor Richard Brake's chance of returning is pretty much slim to none. Another major departure is likely Nishi Munshi, who played Tracy McLusky. The character died in episode 8 of the season. Now the story might feature her once again through a flashback sequence, though that's not a regular practice in the show. Hamish Allen Headley, Lane Garrison, and Denny Love are also unlikely to reprise their roles as Robert Sawyer, Carney, and Kevin Jackson, respectively, all because of their characters' deaths. On the other hand, the return of Lenny James as Frank Moses remains up in the air, since the character may or may not be in Kingstown anymore. Mike and Cindy's relationship. Season 4 was one of the most action-packed stretches of the show, So Season 5 is likely to return to that slow burn format that focuses on the characters' internal dilemmas. And the most pressing question in Mike's life now that the worst is over? His relationship with Cindy. While the two are actively dating, there are noticeable gaps in their communication because of Mike's complicated life of organized crime. Cindy has no shortage of secrets either, and a continuation of the story might see these characters hash out their differences or even fall in love along the way. Mike's difficulty in maintaining romantic relationships has been a recurring theme throughout the series, and his pairing with Cindy might finally bring a change of pace in this regard. Kyle's survivor's complex. While Mike's dynamic with Cindy has all the marks of blossoming into something special, his brother Kyle has barely recovered from the loss of Tracy. We've already had a glimpse into his survivor's complex, and Season 5 has the chance to explore it in even greater depth. As he's now baby Mitch's sole parent, the contrast between his mindsets is bound to make for some potent dramatic moments. Family themes and ongoing threats. This theme also extends to characters like Hobbs and Bunny, who might grow closer to their families after enduring a series of ordeals within their respective domains. But here's the thing. Cortez, representing the Cartel, remains an evergreen threat to whatever little Mike and company now hold dearer than ever. So that's everything we know so far about Mayor of Kingstown Season 5. It's shaping up to be another intense chapter in Mike's story, with new threats from the Colombian cartel, unresolved emotional storylines, and the constant battle to protect what matters most. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.